I was very happy to be in Birmingham, but I did want to go somewhere a little bit more exotic.
Working with Steven, I never get tired of the experience of seeing him walking onto set and getting that little frisson of like, oh, here comes Steven Spielberg. You obviously teach yourself to be a little bit more calm and reserved in his presence. But it's still a novelty to me, and I've worked with him 3 times now, but I still get very excited when he appears just because it's him.
Working with Steven Spielberg, you know, it's all right.
Working with Steven Spielberg, small indie film director, he's a giant. That doesn't make you feel small. He undercuts your nervousness with his own neuroses and nervousness, and he's incredibly kind and generous and also a genius at the same time.
We had 2 weeks of rehearsal on our own. On the last day of our rehearsals, Steven actually showed up. He said, I just want to capture you walking. I want you to do like the John Travolta walk from the beginning of Saturday Night Fever. I'm standing there on the motion capture floor, and it's just me on one side and him on the other, and I'm waiting for him to call action, but he's not saying anything. And then he pulls out his phone, and then he hits play, and he starts playing Stayin' Alive by the Bee Gees. And he starts walking towards me, and he's playing the song for like 15 seconds, nodding his head. And then he goes, and action. And then that was, so that was like my first experience working with Steven.
When I got the call saying I'm going to be in a Steven Spielberg movie, I'm thinking Hawaii, I'm thinking like Japan, I'm thinking somewhere really crazy. And being from Oldham in Greater Manchester, I didn't think that we'd be filming part of the film in Birmingham. I was very happy to be in Birmingham, but I did want to go somewhere a little bit more exotic.
No, I never went to Birmingham, I was only ever in Watford for this film, which is a glamorous location, I can assure you.
We had a trailer actually on our base camp because it had tons of arcade games, and we had an Xbox, and we would play FIFA every day at lunch.
Yes, I've played computer games since before any of you little punks out there. I go back to the arcades, you little console freaks. I go back to pinball.
What's your favourite game?
Pinball, bar none.
I don't know what's going to happen. I'm positive that this current climate is just a blip on the way to progression.
I think the world that this film portrays is very similar to what I think will actually be the case. It's slightly daunting and doomy, but at the same time, you'll be able to ride on a dinosaur, so it swings and roundabouts.
Steven, because he's just such a well of infinite knowledge, and you can ask him anything and he'll remember, he'll give you the date, the time, the person, and it's from like a really obscure, it's from like the 1940s, and you're like, how do you remember that?
Probably me, I would imagine. I don't know. Tye, it was so funny working with him because Steven and myself were sort of trying to educate him on sort of films that he hadn't seen. Like there were certain films he hadn't seen, which you assume everyone's seen. There were moments of like, oh my God, you've not seen this? You should come to my house and watch this immediately.